Good morning, everybody. My name is Andrew Alvarez. It is Wednesday, November the 4th at 6 a.m. in the morning Central Time. And I let off with that because I'm going over some presidential election results. And I'm not live. So if you're seeing this, it's going to be late. It's going to be past 6 o'clock, and the data may have changed. So what all is going on with this election? I don't know. It is crazy. I had two scenarios playing out in my head. The first one was that Trump was going to win by a landslide, at least 60-40, 65-35, somewhere around there. It didn't happen. I was hoping the conservative vote would come out in droves and would be the silent majority. That didn't happen. The second scenario came out, which was the nightmare scenario, which is what's happening right now. And as it is right now, Joe Biden is leading 238 to 213 polls, electoral college votes. I've already got people on my timeline saying, if we put so much precedence into Florida, into Ohio, we need to change the system. Well, no, we don't. Maybe the population might need to change, so the number of electoral votes that they get may need to change, and that's going to happen this year. The lines are due to draw. Actually, I should say within a year. The census has happened, and the number of votes a state gets is supposed to change. We've had a big movement from California to Texas. It's big enough so where we've coined a term: "Don't California my Texas." So that is going to be the way it changes. Looking at the votes, and I'm looking at Google right now. There are still some states up for grab. In fact, there are a total of 7 states up for grab. Nevada is leaning towards Joe Biden. Nevada has 6 electoral votes. Wisconsin is still up for debate. It's one of the swing states, I should say. Wisconsin has 10 votes, and it is leaning towards Joe Biden. Now, don't get me wrong. Remember, Wisconsin is where the incident and the riots in Kenosha happened, where Kyle Rittenbaugh, however you say his last name, shot 3 people with an AR, killed 2 and really maimed 1. Oddly enough, in Kenosha, Trump was winning. He won Kenosha by a landslide. Green Bay, he won by a landslide. Where he isn't winning right now is in Madison, Wisconsin, Milwaukee. He isn't winning in those 2 spots. However, they are reporting 95% voting right now, which translates to 1.63 million votes for Biden and 1.609 votes for Trump. 49.6% to 48.9%. It's still anybody's game. There's still enough votes to go around. Nevada, back to Nevada, it was primarily leaning towards Trump. You've got Reno and you've got Las Vegas voting for Trump. For Biden, the entire rest of the state is voting for Trump, which makes it, here it is. This is worth 6 points, 6 electoral points. You've got 588,000 votes for Joe Biden and 580 votes for Donald Trump. And that is with 67% reporting. That's just over half. So that vote could still go to Donald Trump, even though it is right now leaning towards Joe Biden. So here's where it gets tricky. Aside from those states, and Alaska's got 3 votes that is leaning heavy Donald Trump. And I'm talking heavy, 62.9% to 33%. Donald Trump leading. Georgia, right now. Georgia is a key state. Georgia is worth 16 votes. You've got 94% reporting, so there's still room. It is leaning towards Donald Trump, but look at this margin. Donald Trump has 2.380 million votes. Joe Biden has 2.278 million votes. Here's what happened in Georgia, though. In one of the locations where they were counting the polls, a water main broke, so they couldn't count anymore. I mean, kind of seems surreal that something like that would happen on yesterday, when they're supposed to be counting the votes. The water main broke. Seems kind of Epstein-ish to me, if you ask me. The entire 4 years, this water main has been just flowing water through like nothing else. And then on election day, it decides to break. North Carolina is still up in the grabs with 94% reporting. They are worth 15 electoral votes. The margin there is 2.732 million votes for Donald Trump versus 2.655 million votes for Joe Biden. Looks like Howie Hawkins managed to scrape up 11,000 votes. Jo Jorgensen, I wonder how she affected this. She is the only party out there, third party, that was pushing, that was actually truly campaigning. You have people like Howie Hawkins, the Green Party. You have Don Blankenship, part of the Constitutional Party. You had Roque de la Fuente, part of the Alliance Party. They didn't really do anything. They just put their name on the ballot. Oh, and Kanye, if you count him. But Jo Jorgensen, 47,000 votes. I wonder how many of those were going to Donald Trump. I mean, when you look at her at her campaign. She's libertarian. Okay, I can appreciate that. I do claim some of that, some libertarian in me. You know, I'm not 100% Republican, believe it or not, though I am conservative. She started talking woke. You know, that whole woke mentality where you're just so woke. Yeah, she started talking that. And mind you, she might have pulled some Biden votes out of there, but being that she is a woman and being that Donald Trump was really trying to get the suburban woman to vote for him, I wonder how many of them voted for Jo Jorgensen just based off of the fact that she was a woman. 47,000 votes. That's a lot of votes. That's almost the difference in the two votes right there. Almost, not quite. But North Carolina is worth 15 votes. There is just under 100,000 vote difference there with 94% reporting. Moving on up. Michigan is still up for grabs. Now, Michigan and Wisconsin, they stopped counting. They stopped counting last night. They sent their poll workers home. Which, if you take that job as a poll worker and a vote counter, ballot counter, you need to be able to stay up and do the job. You know, especially this vote. You know how important this vote is. So, Michigan is worth 16 electoral college votes. This is a slim margin. 49.4% to Trump, 49.1% to Biden. Then you have, you know, the others down there, Jo Jorgensen, Howie Hawkins, Don Blankenship, and Roque de la Fuente. You have 1.1%, 0.02%, 0.1%, 0.1%. All together with the third-party votes, you're going to have about 70,000 votes there. Pretty close to 70,000 votes that voted third party. Here's the kicker. The difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden is about 12,000 votes. So those third party candidates there, no doubt, are affecting this state. They are affecting Michigan directly. Now, are we starting to see not so much a revolution, but a change in how we vote and the change in like how the party system works? And really and truly, I hope so. This two-party system to me has to go. And there's no reason why we should have just Republicans and just Democrats and a few sprinkle every now and then, sprinkle a few libertarians, independents, and all that, good stuff. I think we should vote people, not party. But they sent their people home, 90% reporting. Lots of room there, but it is projected to Trump for now. And I'm saying all of this for now because, quite honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen. By the time I finish this video and editing it, it could very well change. It probably will. Wisconsin, we already went over Wisconsin. North Carolina. The areas that are big for Biden in North Carolina are obviously, the suburbans. You've got Raleigh, Greensboro, Charlotte, Fayetteville. North Carolina is 50.1% President Trump. Joe Biden is 48.7% with 2.732 million votes for Trump, 2.655 million votes for Joe Biden. Then you have your down party items again, or your third party ballots. You've got Joe Jorgensen, 47,213. Howie Hawkins, 11,853. Don Blankenship, 7,381. For about, without pulling out a calculator, doing that Common Core math, you're going to be looking at about, 47, 11, that's going to be about 58, 59, about 65,000 votes, 66,000 votes, somewhere around there. And the difference in Donald Trump and Joe Biden is about 70,000 votes. See, those third parties are making a difference right now. Where they know it, they're obviously not getting elected, but they are making a difference. Makes me wonder who planted them, if somebody planted them, why they're there. Something is definitely going on with them. So, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is worth 20 points. You got places like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia that are voting for Joe Biden. Then you have two other counties. I don't know exactly where they are. I'm sorry, three other counties. I don't know exactly where they are because there's no big name in there, but they do have the blue around them. But you've got 55.7% for President Trump. You've got 43.1% of the vote for Joe Biden. President Trump has 2.965 million votes, and Joe Biden has 2.290 votes. Now, here is the kicker with that. Pennsylvania allowed mail-in ballots that are postmarked for yesterday's date to be counted. So we're not going to know. We may not know until later on in the week. You kind of see what's going on here. There is definitely a chance for a bigger debacle than what's already going on because Pennsylvania has also made it so they didn't have to verify the signature. It could just come in. The signature that you mailed in your ballot versus the signature that was on your voter registration do not have to match. I could see some potential for some mishaps going on, shenanigans. Also, the Attorney General of Pennsylvania, the persons whose job is it to count the votes, make sure the votes are counted right, to make sure that everything election-wise has gone on correctly and legally, has come out and said prior to the election day that Joe Biden has all of their votes. I could see how right away, at least if it was me in Donald Trump's shoes, I would bring that into question. Definitely. And I would definitely use one of my teams of lawyers against that. That is definite grounds for voter fraud there. There's no question about that. For you to call and you to say that Pennsylvania already has Joe Biden's vote and you don't even have all of the elections in, the ballots in yet. You weren't even allowed to start counting them until yesterday at 7 a.m. Seems kind of fishy to me. I do believe this is going to go into some deep, deep, deep litigation. I just hope it is finished by January 21st because Nancy Pelosi will be the president if it isn't taken care of. I would much rather Joe Biden be the president than Nancy Pelosi. Senate races, it looks like as it is right now, the Republican Party is still maintaining the majority of the elections that were held. You have a 47-45 majority so far. California had no Senate races. Nevada had no Senate races. Utah had no Senate races. Washington State had no Senate races. Nor did North Dakota. Nor did Missouri. Nor did Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, or Florida. So states that, with the exception of maybe North Dakota and Ohio, that were primarily blue, looks like we're not adding any more Democrat seats. Alaska has 2 senators, and they've got Dan Sullivan leading by over 50,000 votes. That one's still waiting. North Carolina, Tom Tillis is beating Cal Cunningham right now. The results aren't fully in, but Tom Tillis is a Republican senator or senator candidate. He's got 2.64 million votes. Maine has Susan Collins over Sarah Gideon, 50% to 42%. For 367,000 votes, over 307,000 votes. And Michigan has John James over Gary Peters, 2.4 million votes to 2.324 million votes. So this is something that I'm not sure how it works. Maine has been called presidential-wise. Everyone who votes for president also has the senators on their ballot, even if it's a provisional. In fact, I helped somebody yesterday who was from Laredo. He was up in Pearland. I helped him vote, gave him information on how to vote here in Pearland. Well, in Pearland where I was. He was able to vote for senator, and he was able to vote for the president. He couldn't vote for local office because he wasn't there, but he was able to cast his provisional ballot. So why is it that we can call a presidential race when we've got all of the information in, but we can't call the Senate race? I don't know that for sure. If you do, drop me a comment. Let me know what's up. Also, one thing that I really wanted to know, there's an explanation out there, but I've been trying to find it. I missed it. Virginia, for example. Let me check out the scores on Virginia again. It changed. It refreshed. But earlier, it was having President Trump with the majority votes, yet it gave the college votes to Joe Biden. I don't know the exact on that, what happened. Maybe it was just a prediction educated guess based on the number of votes they had versus the number of registered voters. I could see that happening. Nebraska's also got some weird thing that they do with their voting where it goes by the congressional district. But I'm curious as to what happens there. Either way, back to the Senate races. I'm still kind of trying to figure out why we can call it a presidential election and we can't call a Senate race yet. But it looks like all intent and purposes right now we've got 45 Democratic seats to 47 Republican seats. All the states so far, I might be wrong. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, a few times, just a few times. So far, it looks like the Senate is going to retain the majority. Looking at the House ballots. I'm going to go check to see how Wesley Hunt did real quick. This surprises me. This surprises me a lot. Lizzie Fletcher won Texas Congressional District 7. She hadn't done anything. Every Democrat that was in Texas, in the Houston area, won their re-election. The only Democrat in the Houston area, Texas, that has done anything at all, other than I'm going to go take pictures with the homeless people and I'm going to take pictures at a COVID testing site to make it look like I am doing anything. The only Democratic person that did anything at all, Sylvia Hernandez Garcia. She was out there working, and I saw her work. Did she lose? I'm looking at the results again. I'm sorry. Sheila Jackson Lee won Texas. Man, she needs to go. Al Green won Texas. He needs to go. He's been in office longer than some people who support him. Michael Cloud won. Victoria, good job. Thank goodness Ricky De La Fuente, whose dad was on the presidential candidate list, thank goodness he won. I'm talking about Michael Cloud. And Sylvia Garcia won with 46% voting. Every single Democratic person in the Houston area won. Specifically, Sheila Jackson Lee and Al Green. And Lizzie Fletcher. I don't know how Lizzie Fletcher won. How people could vote for Lizzie Fletcher when she has not done anything. Her campaign, her first initial campaign was based on, I'm going to work with the people. I'm going to work with both Republicans and Democrats. And she has been a puppet for Nancy Pelosi. So I'll tell you how they won. These people that we pay $174,000 a year at the bare minimum are getting millions and millions and millions in campaign contributions. As soon as they finish with the filings, I'm going to make a video on that so you can see exactly how much they spend. I think that bill needs to be reformed. But looking at the total number of seats, it looks like the Democrats have 188 versus the Republicans 181. It is another tight race. A difference of 7 seats. 7 seats. You've got California that still has some seats open that haven't fully reported yet. And it looks like those are leaning towards Republican. Arizona has a seat or two left that seems to be leaning towards a Democratic seat. Colorado is the opposite, seems to be leaning towards Republican. Washington has about, 1 seat open, 2 that haven't fully been published yet. I'm sorry, I'm trying to watch the lines here. 3. And it looks like 2 of the 3 are leaning Republican. Then we've got pretty much most of the seats that look to still be open are shown to be Republican leading right now. Could that change? Absolutely could. I would be okay. I would be able to be okay and be able to sleep at night if Joe Biden won the presidential elections, but we still had a Republican majority House of Congress and Senate. I could live with that. There needs to be a Republican majority Senate, though. There has to be. There can't even be a 50-50. It could very well end up being 50-50. Then the person presiding over Senate would then be none other than my best friend, Kamala Harris. That is, if Joe Biden even finishes, a week of his first term. I still don't think if he wins, he's going to make it past his first term at all. I don't think. I think with the help of Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris, Joe Biden is going to be a victim of the 25th Amendment and deemed unfit because of dementia or whatever he's got. One thing I've learned from this, the Democratic Party did a great job campaigning. Now, hear me out. Some of y'all might think that they didn't campaign at all, because really and truly, both presidents, the presidents themselves, they didn't really have any platform to campaign on. During his first election cycle, President Trump had campaign items such as border security, different. You get the point. He had different items on his campaign list where he can do that. Make America great again. Great job at marketing. What did they do this time? Their entire campaign, both of them, was, hey, that guy sucks. No real platform. I think if anyone had had a real platform, they would have exceeded and excelled in these campaigns, in these elections. I really do think so. But neither one did. And now we, the people, have to sit and wait to find out who the president is. No doubt it's going to come to litigation. It's going to go to the Supreme Court. So, do the Supreme Court justices that were appointed by Donald Trump automatically have to recuse themselves? I don't know. I can't answer that question. They are put in that position because they are impartial. They have been vetted using the standard processes that have been around constitutionally for quite a while sometime. But should they have to recuse themselves? We, the people, are the ones that are the victims here. I personally think that Election Day should be 1 day. 2 days, maybe 3, max. While it's fun to go out there and do the early voting, having it any other way, make it inconvenient. Make it something where you have to actually make an effort to go vote. You see, I used to believe that we should give it out, make it a week. And early voting will happen, 2 weeks? I think if you need to vote, it needs to be something that you actually make an effort. Otherwise, it's just a popularity contest. And no different than, the homecoming queen and homecoming king. You get the number of ballots throughout the year, throughout the football season, and the most popular person wins. Those people without jobs that are being promised free stuff if they don't go to work, they get extra time to go vote now. Those people with jobs, which, by the way, I think jobs should give Election Day off. It should be a national holiday. But those with jobs are going to have to put in the effort. And that's the biggest part of this, It's effort. It's not a popularity contest. We are choosing who the leader of the free world is going to be. It's not a popularity contest. It's not about who you like better, who's the nicer person. It's about who is going to get the job done. I really hope and pray that no matter who ends up winning this fiasco that we're going through right now, that they understand their position of power and they utilize it correctly. My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino Conservative.